This Pert back with another video, and I want to apologize ahead of time if my audio sounds kind of weird. Just bear with me. I'm at work right now, but I got some time to put out this review. I also have a video giving my thoughts about Swamp Thing being canceled. I'll throw a link to that in the description below. Go check that out. And I have some interesting theories. I don't know if they'll play out, but I'll also have all my episode reviews in the link in the description below for all of my videos that I drop on this series. So, with all that being said, let's get this show on the road. So, picks up from the last episode. Swamp Thing is finally created. Abby has a search party looking for Alec. Because she's really worried about him. I'll get to that a little bit later on the review. I have some issues with that. But then we get introduced to the sheriff right off the bat. She's already giving me shady ass vibes. I do not trust her, but she has an issue with Abby. A lot of people in this show have a problem with Abby. But what's really cool is Swamp Thing having this connection with this girl. I'm drawing a blank on her name. I think it's Susie. Is it Susie? Let me know, because I'm really I just draw the blank on it. But they have this little connection. I don't know, something with the water and the way Swamp Thing the way Swamp Thing is. They have a connection, so I want to kind of see them explore that a little bit more. Allie's starting to daydream a little bit. Well, not daydream, hallucinate and start seeing dead people. This part right here, that fucked me up. I did not see that coming. I hate jump scares. That shit was disturbing. The horror elements in this episode were very much there. Were there loud and clear. She's always going to one of her best friends, that's a reporter. She goes to her for advice and whatnot on how to deal with this. She's an interesting character, but I don't see them doing much with her character at all this season, really. So then Abby decides to visit Avery, which is Shauna's father, just to see, because she hasn't seen her father in what they said 14 years. And right off the bat, you can't trust Avery. He's just way too happy about shit, and just tries to just tell Abby yo, I'm sorry that we kind of distance ourselves from you and whatnot, and it already rubs me the wrong way with this dude, because Abby asks him for a favor because he has a lot of power, and he kind of just says, nah, I can't do that, which now already makes him look kind of suspicious, but I'll get back to that later. Then we got Maria visiting this psychic. I'm drawing a blank on her actual name. I know she's a big character in the comic books and whatnot, but she asked her to, she wants to contact her daughter and to see where she's at, and she goes about doing her business, and shit kind of goes left, and she senses a very dark presence, a dark spirit that even scares the shit out of her. And I wonder what that's going to end up being. We're just going to have to wait and find out. And then we also get introduced to a new character that's supposedly going to be the Blue Devil, probably the main villain in this whole entire series, what's left of it, obviously. Interesting stuff that he's an actor and whatnot, but here's where my gripes come in. You just met this dude Alec, you kind of played him the first episode, and now you give a fuck about him. It's just kind of hard to believe. I don't it's just kind of hard to believe that, you know, now she gives a fuck about Alec after, you know, he gets pretty much murked and whatnot. She didn't see that, but, you know, I just find that kind of weird and just kind of takes me out of it a little bit. But then we go back to Avery and we find out that he's behind this whole thing about people getting sick, and, you know, he's trying to get this shit locked down before it comes back to him. And I knew I couldn't trust him, bro. You can never trust a dude that smiles that much. But anyways, later on, they do a search party looking for, you know, Susie, because Susie's out there missing, but not knowing that she's on this boat. That this one officer is looking throughout the swamp. He runs into these groups that are like throwing things into the swamp, and of course they got one hothead that just like ends up killing this dude, and Susie's in trouble, and this wakes up Swamp Thing, and this is where shit gets really fucking crazy. Little side note, interesting fact, you know, Matt is talking to the sheriff and come down to find out the sheriff, that's his mother, and I can't trust his mother because she wants him to stay distance from Abby for some odd reason, but who cares? You know, and Susie's getting chased down by this dude with a machete and stuff, but not knowing that this dude is getting chased by Swamp Thing. And I love that we get to see Swamp Thing finally in action, man. This shit was so violent, so brutal. The horror was right there. It was right there. It was cool. I love seeing disembodiments of like just human beings in this fashion. That shit was epic. Then Abby sees Swamp Thing, not knowing that it's Alec. And he kind of looks at her like, damn, you look at me like a monster type of deal. And I'm wondering how they're going to be able to build some type of, you know, love connection between these two, you know. It's gonna be really interesting. I like this episode. I thought this episode was a lot better than the first, but the first one was still good, but this one we finally get into the shits, and it's sad that this is the only season we're getting, so might as well enjoy it while we still have it. You know, I wish we could just have all the episodes, but, you know, till the next episode review, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, you know, and I'll check y'all out later.
They keep dreaming, man, but you know, sometimes you gotta wake up from a dream and go get it. You get out of it what you put into it. The game is so simple, y'all just ain't listening. If you're chasing your dream, you're not running fast enough. Run faster. You gotta work for greatness, man. You gotta work. You gotta work hard just